Leader of the House said at the dispatch box just yesterday, I have been astonished by the number of people who have been in touch with me to tell me about their terminally ill loved ones who have starved themselves to death out of desperation, something which takes far longer than you may imagine and is just horrific for everyone involved. And this is currently legal, and doctors are required to assist the patient through this agonising process. How can we allow this but not a compassionate and humane assisted death? I thank my honourable member for her intervention, and I'm so... It's estimated that over 600 terminally ill people take their own lives every year. Often patients will store up medication. 33-year-old Josh from Huddersfield went to coach his local kids rugby team one Saturday and came back to tell his mum all about it. He found her dead. Lisa, who was terminally ill, had stored up her medication and taken her own life.
Question is that the bill now be read a second time. Donny Kruger.
This bill is simply too big for the time that it's been given. And I implore honourable members not to hide behind the fiction that it can be amended substantially in committee and in its later stages. The remaining stages of a private member's bill are for minor tweaks, not the kind of wholesale restructuring that we will need if we're ever to make this bill safe. And so members who vote for the bill today must be prepared to see it become law, largely unamended. And I suggest that if they do have any doubts, the only responsible choice is to vote no and let the advocates of assisted dying bring back a better bill at another time.
I'm grateful to the honourable member for giving way, and he's making an excellent case for the bill to pass today. Because what you're actually doing, sir, is saying that there are specifics that need debate, analysis, discussion in great detail in committee. That's the whole point of it. And if it's not done with properly in committee, if it's not done within committee, then it won't pass the third reading. Your suggestion is, because you don't like specifics, that actually we can't discuss it in any form of detail.
And on this issue of process, I say to the honourable gentleman...
Mr. Speaker, if I voted for this bill, I would have on my conscience many more people whose voices we cannot hear. The people who would be vulnerable in consequence of the huge changes that this bill would induce in our society and in the NHS. And my view is that if we get our broken palliative care system right and our wonderful hospices properly funded, we can do so much more for all the people that we'll hear about today, using modern pain relief and therapies to help everybody die with a minimum of suffering when the time comes.
Can I just remind the House that we want to try and aim up to 8 minutes? Can I have Mother of the House, Diane Abbott?
I should like to congratulate the member for Spain, but I would recall to the House that in 1969, Parliament voted to abolish the death penalty for murder. Public opinion was actually against this, but MPs believed on a point of principle that the state should not be involved in taking a life. It was a good principle in 1969, and it remains a good principle today.
Thank you. On that point, my daughter Maria lived her life with severe disabilities and health conditions, and since her birth, we were told many times that she might have only 6 months to live. She lived for 27 years. Crucially, Maria was non-verbal. And I am filled with dread and fear for those other people like Maria who are non-verbal and don't have that capacity, and what might happen to others like Maria if they aren't loved and cared for and have somebody speaking out for them.
Very considerate 5 minutes. Thank you. David Davis.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I'm somebody who has changed their position. I'm a believer in the sanctity of life, but I'm also an antagonist to torture and misery at the end of life. And so, accordingly, I'm intending to vote for second reading. And I say to those who made procedural comments in this, second reading is a point of principle, not a point of conclusion.
Please face the speaker so we can pick it up on the microphone.
And I think they need to focus on the issue of responsibility. This bill is more important than most of the bills in your manifesto. And I'm not trying to be rude. It's more people in the dog and duck, or there's the Honourable Member Clacton here. He got mobbed over breakfast, people talking about this. More people care about this than they care about most other things we're doing. So it deserves 4 days in report stage, in government time, over the course of several weeks. We don't need a royal commission. This House can do this, but it needs to be given the option to do it.
It does say that we must try and keep to the time limit.